Okay, what's good, everyone? It's Nigel here, Trinidad Empowerment Network. So when I criticize my country, when I criticize Trinidad and Tobago, I do it out of love for the country I was born in, out of love for the country I still love to this day, despite not having lived there all of my life. But I was born there. It's right here in my heart. I love Trinidad and Tobago, and I want to see it do better. So when I criticize it, I do it out of love. When the Vice President of America, JD Vance, an absolute sleazebag, moron, uses Trinidad and Tobago as a punching bag, as an example of how terrible a place can be. This clown, this imbecile, stood in Washington, D.C., next to military troops, and compared our nation to a failing American city. This idiot, this man who is known for humping, I hope no kids are watching this, but known for humping his sofa. Go and Google it if you want to. Now, I want you to see exactly what he said. Roll the clip.
Some violent, crazy people who are screaming at kids, with a few crazy liberals who are screaming at the vice president. But I think that's a very worthwhile trade to make, because we want our people to be able to enjoy our beautiful cities. And the last thing I'll say is to the American people, D.C. is already safer than it was 9 days ago, but we're going to make it safer still to come. This is your city. You should feel free to come and visit here, have a meal, see all these incredible monuments, and actually enjoy yourself. And that's what we're trying to make happen. And I think that if we set a standard in Washington, D.C., that political willpower can bring some common sense, law and order back to these communities, then maybe some other communities and other cities will follow suit. So it's kind of crazy. You hear these guys outside. They appear to hate the idea that Americans can enjoy their communities, and they do the fact that D.C. a week ago had a higher murder rate than Trinidad and Tobago, which the United States State Department has said you shouldn't visit because it's unsafe. We ought to be able to enjoy great American cities. That's what we're trying to do in the Trump administration.
There you go. The man known for humping his sofa. He is the president of America, the vice president of America. Excuse me, the vice president. Speaking about us in Trinidad and Tobago, a man who holds one of the highest office in the most powerful country in the world. The man who was once caught humping his sofa and boasted about it, apparently, casually throwing Trinidad's name around as if we are nothing more than a statistic. So, sofa humping JD Vance, let's get some facts straight here, you clown. So, the city he compared Trinidad to, or said we are worse than, is Washington, D.C. So Washington, D.C., from my research, has recorded around 99 murders this year. Trinidad, JD, has recorded 235. Well, fair enough. We've recorded 235. That's not good. So I can't really argue with that one. But yeah. That's... Anyway, Trinidad's raw number is higher, of course. But here's what JD Vance isn't telling you. Washington, D.C. has around 700,000 people. I'm trying to make a case here for us, right? I'm trying to defend the country I love. Washington, D.C. has 700,000 people, while Trinidad has about 1.4 to 1.5 million. By my maths, that is double the population of Washington, D.C. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, you... I don't like this guy. Sofa humping JD Vance. Google it. I'm telling you, the guy's a weirdo, man. And let's not forget, by the way, both of these places are seeing a slight decline in the murder rate. UNC people are going to be happy about this. There's a very slight decline in the murder rate in Trinidad this year. A very slight decline. Something to celebrate. Everyone should be celebrating this, in all honesty. So, comparing Washington, D.C., to Trinidad and Tobago, or using us as an example, just tells you everything about this sleazy idiot. You know, it really annoyed me when he said that, to be honest. Now, I want to be serious for a minute and look at the economic picture between Washington, D.C. and Trinidad and Tobago. Let's look at the economic picture and compare Washington, D.C. to Trinidad and Tobago. So Washington, D.C. produces one of the highest GDP per capita figures in the entire world. In the entire world. Do you want to know what their GDP per capita is per person? Their GDP per capita per person in Washington, D.C. is over $260,000 US. Do you know what it is in Trinidad? Do you know what it is in Trinidad? It's 18 to 22,000 US dollars. 18 to 22,000 US dollars. So when JD Vance points fingers, remember, he's comparing one of the wealthiest jurisdictions on planet Earth to a tiny Caribbean nation with a wretched colonial history, a resource-based economy, and far fewer tools at its disposal to deal with the things we have to deal with. I have to defend my country now over this clown. That's not a fair comparison, you moron. It's opportunistic is the word I'm looking for. That's opportunistic. Opportunism. Opportunism. That's the word I'm looking for. That's opportunism. And this is not the first time this clown JD Vance has made what I would call offensive, racially charged comments, even about people in his own country. So I'm going to remind you of some of the stupid things that sofa-humping JD Vance has said. And I apologize if your kids are watching these videos. I do apologize. In Ohio, he pushed a racist rumor that Haitian migrants were eating people's pet. It was completely false, but he continued anyway, despite the fact he knew it was completely false. This is the sofa-humping Vice President of the United States. He also described trans people, God bless them, as part of a cult, claiming parents push their kids to transition just so they could get into Ivy League schools. Imagine that. Imagine being so dumb, stupid that you think that people made their kids trans so they could get into Ivy League schools. He also called women in professional careers, he called women in professional careers miserable and has consistently leaned on xenophobic conspiracy theory rhetoric. This is a vice president of the United States. That's why I don't know what world we're living in right now. I really don't know what world we're living in right now. Honestly, this is weird. Now, this clown is bold enough to try and smear Trinidad and Tobago. And that really annoyed me. So, I'm going to try and be serious for a minute here because, we should be really. Here's why I believe this matters. Trinidad and Tobago continues to rely heavily on the United States. Everyone who watches my video know this. You should know this by now. We rely so heavily on these idiots. They're probably going to ban this video. YouTube is probably not going to release this video, but we rely so heavily on the United States as a trading partner, not equally, of course. We rely so heavily on the United States for food imports. And today I want to be clear. If America decided tomorrow to stop exporting food to Trinidad, the impact would be immediate. The impact would be catastrophic. The impact would be brutal. We would suffer not within weeks, not within months, within days. Supermarkets would run empty in days if America stopped supplying us with food. For anyone watching my video for the first time, we rely on 80% of our imported food from America. 80%. So prices for staples like rice and flour and oil, that would skyrocket overnight if America cut our food supply. Our working class, our poor, would bear the brunt of the pain. That is how much we rely on the United States of America, and it's about high time we diversify our economy and moved away from that God-forsaken country. Because this is what dependency looked like, when someone could turn around and cuss us, cuss the people of Trinidad, say some mad thing about Trinidad, and we just sit back and take it. Make me vex. So let's use this as a teaching moment. When America looks at Trinidad, this is how they see us. High crime, unsafe, a country they wouldn't even recommend their own people to visit. This is what this clown said about us. And that's the perception they have of Trinidad and Tobago. And yet, we continue to trade, we continue to depend, and we continue to bend over backwards to please our masters. Oh, it makes me sick. Trinidad, please wake up. Abraham Traore. It's time for us to wake up, Abraham Traore style. It's time to diversify our trade, build food security at home, strengthen regional alliances with CARICOM especially, and look to partner with other countries like Latin America and Africa and BRICS. Because if we keep depending on people who clearly from what this clown, this sofa humping clown said, then we will always be negotiating from a place of weakness. We will be negotiating from a place of weakness. So in closing, I want to say this. Family, 10, Trinidad Empowerment Network subscribers and viewers. I don't bring this to you for outrage alone. Certainly not. Not for outrage. I bring it to you for clarity. We do not trade with others because we are desperate. We should trade as equals, and we should trade with dignity and respect. And we are certainly not going to get that from this sofa humping clown, JD Vance. And the first step towards that is understanding exactly how the so-called partners of Trinidad and Tobago see us. I mean, he said the quiet bit out loud. JD Vance just gave us a rare, unfiltered glimpse into how they see us. It's high time we took it seriously. It is high time we took it seriously. All joking aside, the only one that's allowed to criticize Trinidad in the way that JD Vance, sofa humping JD Vance just did, is me. I'm joking. Don't come for me, UNC people.